Hey everybody, today we're going to be talking about the Season 2 patch notes, the 2.0 patch notes. So, first of all, there's going to be a wipe, obviously. Now, what you get to keep is anything you purchased or unlocked through with Weapon Vanity, or any Vanity you've unlocked. Any unspent Aurum, so any Aurum you've gained from your generators you'll keep. Unclaimed but achieved and eligible Aurum and Vanity rewards from the pass will be auto-claimed, and unclaimed Vanity from Twitch drop packages will also be auto-claimed. Any welcome packs that you purchased will be re-granted at the start of the new season, and starting equipment granted by Badum will also be given back as well. Everything else, gear, your faction progression, your private quarter progression, your unspent K marks, your insurance tokens, and unclaimed packages from private quarter vendors, examples, supply crates, K marks generator, insurance packages, cheater compensation packages, unclaimed gear from Twitch drops will all be wiped. It'll be a fresh start. The only thing you will have is your Aurum and your custom cosmetics, and if you have any welcome pack, you'll be getting those back as well. Moving on, we have the new map, the third map, Tharsis Island, where you can see that it is going to be very, very dark and creepy, and more like underground components. They say that danger lurks around every corner, so only the most seasoned prospectors are permitted. Once you've gained the trust of factions, i.e. you've gotten far enough in your progression for your factions, you will aim your drop pod at a few spots safe enough to tail land and take advantage of this new map. Be careful when you venture into the dark unknowns, as you might encounter ancient technology in an area far more vicious than anything you've encountered so far. Creatures aren't the only thing you'll need to watch out for while venturing deeper into the tunnels of the secluded island. Exercise caution and watch your steps as you explore Tharsis Island. The voids are seemingly lawless, and no gear recovery team is reckless or paid enough to risk a terminal torment for a gun or two. As such, here's what will be displayed on your screen. Insurance will not be paid if you fall into the void in the Tharsis Island caverns. So if you fall into that void area, you will not get your gear back. Just be aware of that. Something new, the Forge. In the deepest, darkest depths of the caverns lies a massive, outlandish machine, the Forge. Its exact origins are still unknown and shrouded in secrecy. Though some factions still have a vested interest in learning more about the powers held by such an ancient technology, only the bravest of prospectors will have a shot at uncovering its secrets. But keep in mind, many who have tried before have lost forever, or worse, clawed their way back, battered and scarred, changed. Exploring the abandoned faction camps and research facilities may hold vital evidence in unlocking the mysteries for those foolish enough to ignore the warnings left by early exploration parties. So the Forge is a mysterious alien structure located deep within the caverns of Tharsis Island. The strange structure lies dormant, but some claim under the right circumstances it comes alive. And the Forge holds great power for those cunning and brave enough to unlock it. So I assume that this is going to be the new, armor unlocking thing. Since it's called the Forge, it makes sense, but we'll see. Moving on to improvements, this is going to be a very, very long part, I can imagine. So we have a lot of general improvements happening with this new update. We want to, again, extend a big thank you to our players for all the feedback that they provided over the course of Season 1. We hope these changes will reflect positively on our experience with Season 2. So, first of all, Crescent Falls and Tharsis Island, Map 2 and Map 3 are now gated behind campaign progression. Access to Crescent Falls is granted upon completion of the first quest lines, where prospectors gain the trust of factions, and Tharsis Island can be accessed roughly halfway through the campaign. Ping restrictions are now implemented and will be adjusted over the course of the next few days. This means that people with VPNs who are trying to region hop to other regions will have much harder time because there's a ping limit. Ping restrictions will be tweaked on a per region basis. The goal is to make a region hopping and other ping-based foul play more difficult. Like I just said, the system can be easily modified and will be tweaked over the next few days in order to strike a healthy balance. I.e., they want players to be able to play with their buddies, but they don't want people hopping across the world, and you get the idea. Adding a trusted status queue to the game to hamper the creation of alt accounts and separate them from existing player base. I think CSGO had something like this. It was called Prime Players or something like that. So they are adding a trusted status, which means that this system is a first step during the process of creating alternate accounts, specifically in regards to ban dodging. This is amazing, because what people would typically do is, since the game is free to play, they'll get banned, they'll make a new account, and jump right back into the game, since there's no barrier entry of paying for the game. So this helps. It will work automatically behind the scenes, looking at many hidden factors such as account age and purchase history to determine trusted status. Trusted parties will get their own separate matchmaking queue with other trusted parties, and vice versa for non-trusted players. Trusted and non-trusted players can still party together, but will be replaced in non-trusted queues. This is the first step in our efforts to make alt account spam more difficult. We will be adding the system over time with more barriers. Improvements to our anti-cheats and terminal detection methods to automatically ban cheaters. Back-end improvements to the game to make actual development of cheats more difficult. The ability to reconnect after losing your connection or crashing has been added to the game. This, of course, has limits, and you will be vulnerable while reconnecting. This is amazing, and I am glad that this has been implemented because being able to come back if something happens in the game, even if it's just a chance that you get shot while you're reconnecting, is always nice. There's a new Fortuna Battle Pass. As in Season 1, the paid version of the Fortuna Pass is 950 Orum. This includes experience boosters for the pass, new Prospector skins, melee weapons, emotes, banners, charms, and more. The two amazing new Prospectors available in Season 2 are the Cultist and the Explorer. We also revisited some of the item distribution of the past to make progression to the levels more rewarding. So hopefully there's more stuff in between the big unlocks to make it more rewarding and help you kind of get to that next big milestone. We revisited the amount of bonus experience that prospectors receive from the premium track and reduced the amount of bonus percentage they receive as the progression was a little bit too fast. So they're slowing you down a little bit. What you'll find in the past, 2 prospectors with 2 variations each, ready to conquer the caves. So this looks like the Explorer and this looks like the Cultist. Various new weapon skins. That Brute one looks good. The KBR one looks amazing too. Supply guys to help keep you going. This one looks new. I assume this is like the new armor pack system, maybe. Orm, salvage tokens, experience boost, etc. Abyss alloy to support your journey with Thyrsus. I'm assuming this is the same system. Many different cosmetics to help you express your unique style. New knife skin, drop pod skin, and a charm. 2 amazing new pieces on the free track. Looks really cool. Primetime offer. Get ready for the limelight after countless requests for calling for her grand return. Primetime is back with her dazzling outfit and selection for expressive headgear. She will be available for the whole duration of Season 2. Just check out the bundle section of our shop or get it directly from your platform of choice. This is a really nice skin that has a ton of variations and like cosmetic looks to it that you can change around to fit what you like. It has a ton of stuff. Now here's where we get into what I'm interested in, which is the weapon changes, because this is what I'm going to have to probably look over and change because some of my videos might need to be replaced and updated. So, gear, armor and shields. Increased armor and penetration values for exotic weapons, helmets and shields from 29 to 30. Increased armor and penetration values for luxury weapons from 32 to 33. Rare restoration shield crafting recipe has been changed. The Rattler skin has been increased. Rare tactical shield crafting recipe has been changed. More Rattler skin required and more Ivy Blossom. It's weird. They weren't used that much. Oh, I think it's because I think they might have been cheaper, so they wanted to make sure they were increased cost so people can't, weapons. PW has 1 more damage on it. That's not bad. It's really good. Increased cost for bullet action. That's very good because it was a highly bought item. It's so good for such little cost. Having it be increased cost is good. Manticore increased projectile speed. Extremely good. It's a very good weapon. Having it increased projectile speed is amazing. Scrapper increased damage. That's not really the problem I had with the Scrapper. It's more the weird, like, horizontal recoil. Just my opinion, though. Maelstrom, the reduced spread, amazing. Having reduced spread is going to help you, especially for those farther away shots, and even those close range shots, too. Meaning that your spread is tightened so you can actually hit, more of your pellets get on target from close and further away. I see a guarantee, reduced horizontal recoil by 25%. Amazing. Basically turning this thing into a much more accurate light machine gun. This thing was very weird. It was like a hybrid between SMG and AR. I will have a pinned card up on the top so you guys can check that out. I hope I'm pointing in the right direction. Well, it's one of these corners. The Phasing Lancer reduced projectile speed and increased refire time, so there's more of a delay between shots, and also the projectile doesn't travel as fast. This is good. The Phasing Lancer was very strong. They didn't touch the damage, but they did reduce the stuff that allowed it to do that much damage that quickly, so that helps. And we'll see what happens. The ASP Flechette Gun increased projectile speed by 10%. Another nice thing, the ASP Flechette Gun I know wasn't performing extremely well. It was good, but it wasn't that good. Gorgon, another thing, I didn't really see many people use this weapon, but they increased the shots per burst from 11 to 15, and reduced the vertical recoil by 15%. This is amazing. Advocate was nerfed. They reduced the damage from 11 to 10. Basilisk increased projectile speed by 20%. This is amazing. The Basilisk was also something that I didn't see very often. Comrade reduced projectile collision size by 75%. I assume this is blast radius, but I'm not sure. The wording of that's kind of weird, but I assume that's blast radius. Grenades. Ooh, there's new grenades. So you have a light grenade, a standard grenade, and an assault grenade. So the light grenade has 10 pen and 84 damage. The standard grenade has 17 pen and 81 damage, and the assault grenade has 30 pen. Holy crap, that's a lot of pen. And 81 damage. The gas grenade can now no longer be bought and has to be crafted. You can finish the gas grenade auction on quest line, and it unlocks the ability to craft them. Crafting cost has been increased from 300 to 1,000 K marks. Basically, people were treating this in Season 1 after the grenade nerf, and they were spamming gas grenades. It wasn't as bad as regular grenades, but it's still annoying. So this is a good change, I think, for the future. So tactical helmets and tactical shields now have the same armor value as regular helmets. Oh, okay. That's why they did it. Since tactical helmets and tactical shields now have the same armor value as regular helmets and shields of the same rarity, their price has been adjusted. Okay, so that is perfectly fine. I love this change because the tactical and the restoration stuff was really bad. It only says tactical, so the stamina buff one that is changed. I didn't see anything about the restoration one. The restoration one I assume is still weaker because it gives you that restoration, but the restoration effect's kind of weak in my opinion. But the tactical one, I love this change. Lastly, we have a whole new component of how defensive gear works in the game that relates to ancient technology of the Forge. Well, we'll just take over this. Yeah, so that's the modding system they're talking about. The Badums Codex. After completing the tutorial, prospectors can check with Badum to access the Codex. The Codex contains information on the game and the world of the cycle, history of Fortuna 3, factions, and etc. We'll be expanding the Codex in future seasons with more information as features are added. So I assume this is like the lore dump of the game, and also it might work like something like Warframe, where they have this Codex and you can actually go in there and see what like loot drops from them and like how rare it is to drop from them. Possibly, we don't know for sure, but that's what this is sounding like. Crescent Falls, they've adjusted the loot tiers. And the northwest part of the map, Nutrition Warehouse is now Tier 5, and Homes has been updated to Tier 4. A new key room has been added to Nutrition Warehouse. A number of spawn points have been removed from the northwest and east. Spawn points around the back of pumpkin fields and hay fields have been pulled apart to help prevent spawning of external players. This is good. I had quite a few instances, and I think one on the stream, where somebody spawned, or I spawned in, and somebody was right in front of me waiting on me. Yeah, this is just them detailing the locations. AI. Okay, Marauder's getting changed. Increased weak spot damage multiplier from 5 to 10. Okay, so Jeff's going to have a higher multiplier on his weak spot. Increased first stagger threshold, so he's going to be harder to stagger. Much harder to stagger for both first and second stagger. It changes out its combat behavior. It will move around more within its roaming radius. Ooh, it's going to walk around more. Combat. Puddle attack was reworked. The puddle stays on the ground for 30 seconds instead of 10 minutes. Holy shit. I thought that thing hung around for too long. Finally, we know. The puddle stays on the ground, but is twice as damaging as before. 10 damage per second instead of 5. They finally learned to clean after themselves. Thank God. This is a nice change. The trajectory of the projectile was slightly revised to make it less likely to hit ceilings and caves. This bowling training has paid off. Increased frequency of use while out of melee range, resulting in more puddle throws between spinning attacks. Still gross though. And a new melee attack. I added a quick swipe that does not expose the Marauder's weak point. Melee pattern now alternates between the new quick attack that needs to be dodged and the old heavy attack that needs to be interrupted by staggering the beast. So Jeffs are going to be actually terrifying now. General improved animations for local fauna, except for ticks. No one likes those. Art. New improved canopies for our trees. New artwork for the crates, and improved broken tree trunk art that should show more accurately display that's been ravaged by the landscapes have been ravaged by the storm. Campaigns. The faction campaigns got tweaked and adjusted. Quest lines have been changed and expanded with a total of 48 new missions. Existing missions have been made less repetitive, and new campaigns will guide you through Tarsus and its depths. This is great because the problem with a lot of quests in this game is there were a lot of fetch quests. Go here, get this, take it back, put it, try and get out with it, don't die. And I'm sure there's still more of those, but hopefully they're less tedious and there's less repetitive. Change the durability of a lot of key cards in the game. You can pause and look at those if you need to. Added a lot of new loot points, natural resources, mineral nodes, and quest line developed items. So this is awesome. So there's going to be more spawns of the Belgian site nodes and stuff like that from what it sounds like. More varied voice lines added to Prospect Station. Increase the frequency of distant lightning strikes during a storm. So this is just the lightning strikes that you see out in the distance will be increased by about 50%. You won't be hit by these lightning strikes. It's just to light up the environment and also to make it more look like a storm, I guess you could say. They increase the stash size by 5 slots, and they also added in a balance change. This is to combat RMT. They increase the weight of scripts in old currency. They now weigh 0.01, or 0.1 for scripts. This is a step to combat RMT or real money trading. This is something that a lot of cheaters were doing. They would use the old currency and scripts and trade them with other players for money. This means there's no more infinite stacking items in your safe pockets, but as compensation, the stash size is getting increased to compensate. Shock grenades can now be found in daily crates with sufficient player quota upgrades. We're sure this change will come as a shock for you. You can also now refine Titan ore and Veltosite. However, you cannot refine up to Veltosite hearts. You still have to find those. Player quarter upgrades of higher levels will now require Tharsis Island materials, and change the weight and stack size for meteor cores and some legendary items. So meteor cores can now be stacked up to 3. Veltosite hearts can be now stacked up to 3. However, their weight is now increased from 3 to 10. Strider heads can be stacked from 10 to 5, along with Rattler heads, Marauder heads, and Crusher heads. Heavy Strider heads also got reduced from 10 to 3, along with mature Rattler heads and Savage Marauder heads. Adjusted and polished several first-person animations for weapons. Adjusted and polished a lot of third-person animations as well. Added new styles to meteors and adopted the sound pattern in order: sonic boom, then flying, then pre-impact, then impact. Made improvements to several game sounds. Added new sounds to marauders, so hopefully they sound a little bit better. Birds will now fly away before a storm starts. So now there's no more birds while the storm is going on, so that means you can get around the map even easier. As always, boys, flashlight. Bring it with you. It's amazing to have with you. Pebbles are no longer considered a sound trap, but are a surface for footsteps now. You'll be able to hear prospectors running, walking, crouching, and jumping at pebbles. Just make sure those don't get in your boots. Consider wearing sandals. Sound traps like bushes and glass shards only trigger sound effects after certain thresholds of movement. No longer 1 pixel movements. That's great. Increased uplink's activity radius. The death recap stream will now show additional information, including shields and helmets. So this will tell you what they were wearing when you died, and hopefully it'll show you like what weapon they were, like more detailed information, like how much damage you took and things like that. Added a sorting option to sell menus. Stack sizes now show properly on any purchasable stacks of items and crafting stations and faction shops. Hopefully that helps. General anti-cheat fixes. DirectX 12 got disabled for Epic Game Stores as it caused problems, and way too many bug fixes to list here. And the contest winners of Closed Beta 1 have their name in game now to commemorate them, I assume. Ratchet Z, Deathstalker, and a top Derek Mountain. Congratulations to you three. I hope you guys have enjoyed. I'm gonna wait until the wikis get updated and the statistics sites get updated the day of the patch. They usually update it the day of the patch, and then over time they'll get it solved. So I might have to wait a day or two before I can update my videos if they need to be updated. Otherwise, I will make a pinned comment on those videos displaying what got changed for them. If there's a significant enough change, though, I will make a video on them. I hope this has helped you guys see what's coming in Season 2 and you're as excited as I am. Consider liking and subscribing for more cycle content, and if you don't mind, check out this video series on the right where I talked about the weapons in the game, and I'll be continuing this series in Season 2. Have a good day, everybody.